Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I'll be giving you my thoughts and spoiler-filled review for the latest and very good episode of Star Trek Discovery. I'd like to correct myself. I thought this was going to be the second to last episode of the season. I am wrong. I just learned earlier this evening that the season 4 finale will actually be next month, March 17th. A couple of their remaining episodes are going to overlap with the new season of Star Trek Picard. So just FYI. So this season's not quite over yet. We still have 3 or 4 more episodes to go, I think. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to it. Now, obviously, if you're not caught up on Discovery by this episode or the previous episode, you don't want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, I loved how the Federation president was down to get basically down and dirty in terms of putting herself on the front lines at, right in the very front of the action, and going because she was an experienced and successful diplomat and ambassador. And it was very reminiscent of Bill Pullman's character from the first Independence Day film when he opts out to become a fighter pilot once again to lead the assault against the alien aircraft threatening Area 51. So I liked that. I liked that she was down to get, down and dirty and get there in the heart of the action of it all when they go there to make their first contact with Species 10C. I loved how this episode provided a much more sympathetic backstory for Tarka, who up until this point has been kind of a brash, sometimes rude and self-centered asshole. But then this episode revealed that he was incredibly lonely and isolated and friendless until being paired up with this other guy, another scientist who figured out a way to get to another universe where it was basically sounds like this paradise or this Eden. And after they become friends, they decide to go together. And then he keeps going back to this place to see if this guy is still around or even still alive, if he's left any more etchings or clues in the wall. So I really liked that. And I liked how him and Book kind of rekindled their friendship or bonded over his opening up to Book about all of this. And they got the shit that they need to get through the galactic barrier. I also really liked, even though it was kind of heartbreaking to watch, as the ship is spinning around and they're trying to get where they need to go when they're in the galactic barrier, the crew officers are talking about all the places they're going to hit up and see when they get back home. And most of them are Earth locations, like the one blonde referenced Astoria, New York, I believe. And the one redhead girl was talking about Hawaii. And everybody's talking about the different states in the United States they're going to visit, or just other spots on Earth. And then as they continue to talk, the camera goes over to the Federation president, and having just learned the terrible news that the DMA's next target or next doomed location is both Navarre and Earth, she's just looking at them like, oh, you guys have no idea. Like, well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and she just looks so completely heartbroken listening to these guys talking about their exciting plans for the future, knowing that they might not have a planet to go back to if they get back at all. Who knows how this first contact meeting is going to go with this new alien species. So, but I did like how instead of hiding the terrible truth, but truth nonetheless from the crew, that she calmly revealed to everyone how high the stakes are now that they know that a majority of this crew's families and friends and loved ones are on Navarre and Earth, and how the stakes just became that much higher. And now they've all got to stay clear and level-headed and professional and do their jobs while trying not to think about the impending inevitable doom that their respective homeworlds face. So good luck, everybody. But it was a beautiful moment, though. It was great seeing how everybody realistically reacted and found out to the news, and how the Federation president and Michael handled it, and how they have a great working relationship together. Speaking of relationships, hats off to Saru for being incredibly brave and spilling his guts to the leader of Navarre about how he feels about her. And of course, she's called away right before she can respond in kind to his question, perhaps we could be more than friends or something like that. And then, of course, he immediately buckles and starts to act like high school boy who's confessed to the girl that he's liked once he realizes that she is now trapped on the ship with them, or not trapped, but she came with them for the mission. And now, of course, he's all nervous and whatnot. Although it seems like things are in a pretty good place for both of them by the end of this episode, as obviously he's going to comfort her due to her struggling with the fact that her homeworld faces destruction as well. So it's probably mutual, their feelings for one another. She just hasn't said it yet, but it seems like a pretty guaranteed thing. But this was a nice little light moment in this episode. Him panicking to Dr. Hugh over his worrying about her being there and whatnot, and then Hugh trying to be the supportive friend by telling him that it's okay, everybody's insecure. Some beginnings can be rough, but it'll be all right. So I liked that. Good episode overall. I'm excited to see what the next one brings. I'm also happy to know we've got at least 3 or 4 more episodes to look forward to. So that's exciting, because I really did think this was going to be the second to last episode for this season, but I was wrong, and this is one of those few moments where I'm happy that I am. So, what did you guys think of this episode of Discovery? Did you like it, love it, hate it? Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Have an awesome rest of your night. Star Trek Discovery drops new episodes every Thursday on Paramount Plus. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching, and of course, until next time, live long and prosper.